It was a hard-hitting day of practice, and we break it all down next on the Unbearable Sports Podcast.
I'm going to take the North and never give it back.
So that's a good pick. You get the corner. I got to go bold, right? I got to go bold for this.
Yeah, she's got some nice long
Welcome back to the Unbearable Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Brad. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're out there on YouTube. And also rate the show 5 stars everywhere that you get your podcast. You can download the show in the link below in the description. It'll take you straight out to wherever you want to listen to the show. Spotify, Apple Music, whatever it might be. So today what we're going to be breaking down is another day of training camp for our Chicago Bears. And as we always do, we're going to break down the injuries, talk about what exactly happened and took place, the offense, the defense, and also the biggest winner and loser, or reality check, we'll call it, for the day. So without further ado, let's get right into it and let's get started with our injuries. So when we focus on the injuries today, the big news that I want to kind of talk about is Jonah Jackson was back out there at the right guard spot. Now, something for us to at least just keep an eye out for is he was out there, but then he got brought back. So he got brought back into the facility. He limped back to the building as people were talking about it. But then Ryan Bates was out there for the rest of the day. So just keep an eye out for Jonah Jackson just to see what exactly will happen with him. But also too, Karana Magaji had a leg injury, which caused him to miss the team period today. And also Scott Daly, the long snapper that we had last year, was not out there still. So back injury, they expect him, at least we know what it is. But Brad Biggs from the Chicago Tribune said, hey, he expects Daly to be back relatively soon. So at least there's that to look forward to. But as we continue on, instant reactions for today. Today, it feels like it's a broken record for what is going on during practice, which to me feels great because we have had so many bad things that have happened at practice. And this is just another day that the Bears offense was looking good, defense was playing fast, and we talked a little bit about this. It's what is the general trend of these practices? And right now, it's the offense continues to get it, but then there's some bad mistakes, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But it's just, there's good fundamentals that are being played out there. There's good stuff that makes you feel optimistic, but then there's just those little tiny things that just kind of bring it back. So it's not a perfect operation by any means, but it's still just continuing to show that, hey, we're moving in the right direction. Other pieces too, it was a live contact like I was kind of talking about. So pads today. And also, when asked about this, Declan Doyle said that they've gone through 9 out of 12 of their offensive installs so far. So pretty darn close to getting all the installs in. So then it's more just true practices. But also, we know that next week we're going to see the Miami Dolphins come in. So my guess is that they're trying to get all those installs in before so that when the other team comes in, teams, especially what you can kind of assume with this Bears team, is that they're going to want to use those in the periods with the Dolphins as true live game reps and make it feel as close to that as possible because you don't really get that with the preseason. With this, you would probably get more of those actual live bullets flying inside of that practice setting. So that is just kind of overall. So overall, okay. Just a good practice overall. But let's get into my Hype Train winner. So today, the Hype Train Award winner, so the person that stuck out of everyone else, right? There's a lot of people that this could be given out to, but today it's going to be Montez Sweat. Montez Sweat got the most highlights of today. A lot of people saying Montez Sweat was living in the backfield. He was beating his man consistently. And this is big because literally yesterday, we were just talking about Micah Parsons. We were just having the discussion about that and needing some help at the defensive end spot. Now, speaking of that, I did hear that Dayo Odengbo had one of his best days today. So not anything amazing, but just looked a little bit better today than he did in previous sessions. But also, too, you can see this tweet that I have from Scott Blair, just talking about different pieces that were going on today as well. Also, I forgot to mention this at the top of the show. Ozzie Trapillo ran the first team reps all practice. And we'll discuss this a little bit later when we get into the offense. Because does this mean Ozzie is truly the starting left tackle? We'll discuss a little bit later. But I wanted to just highlight Montez Sweat because the defense doesn't get enough love out there. And it's not like he's absolutely game wrecking or anything like that, but he's at least causing some havoc, and he has caused some havoc throughout training camp. So this is what you want out of your $25 million defensive end that you have. So good stuff from Montez Sweat. He's the winner of the hype train. And if we're going to the reality check, the easy thing is I can just flip it back and say, hey, Darnell Wright, right? Because when you talk about reality check, that means that he has to be beating someone. And he's typically lining up against the right tackle. That starting right tackle is Darnell Wright. So Darnell Wright getting beat a handful of times. But also, too, Brad Biggs mentioned this, a bit of a rough practice for Darnell Wright today. So obviously Montez Sweat got the better of him, had a couple sacks out there, but then also false start issues with Darnell Wright. So it's not just the defender winning, but also there were some false starts out there. And after some of those tweets were going out there, some other Bears beat reporters that have been watching every single practice out there kind of echoed that Darnell Wright has had some issues with false starting throughout the practices as well, too. So it's something just to keep an eye out for. This is year 3 for Darnell Wright. And I think a lot of us expect a larger jump. He took a jump he really did take a jump from year 1 to year 2. You saw some really good progression with how he played. I thought in his rookie season, he was just okay, which is a great season for a rookie offensive tackle. Keep that in mind when we talk about Ozzie next segment. But having an okay season is great for a rookie. So he had an okay rookie season. He had a good season last year, I felt. I thought that Darnell played very well. And it wasn't perfect by any means, but I thought that he played like a starting right tackle. This doesn't mean he's not going to be a good right tackle because of some false start issues, but I think that we're all just kind of hoping this year 3 for a lot of tackles is this is what I am in the NFL. This is kind of my ceiling, right? I progressed. Now this is your time to really kind of show who you are. And right now it still feels, right? This is not real live game reps. Still feels like Darnell is going to be a good right tackle. We just want to know, is he going to be a great right tackle? Is he going to be a top right tackle that's out there? So, like we know, big season for Darnell Wright. But also, another thing that I want to just kind of call out as something that's kind of a little bit of a reality check is that there's been a lot of news out there about missed snaps, botched snaps. And I wanted to bring that up because we have our center. We have Drew Dahlman. We've consistently always had botched snaps throughout whoever the quarterback was. Now, that doesn't mean it's okay. It means that it needs to be fixed. Now, what I've kind of heard from some people at camp is that Dahlman snaps it quick. He just does a quick little snap, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce, potential Hall of Fame center for the Eagles. He was always kind of known for just like a quick snap, and he jokes about it. He's like, yeah, the reason why is I need my hand back. And that's exactly what Dahlman needs, right? Snap the ball back and go. So with a lot of the quick snaps, a lot of times, who's at fault if we want to play the blame game? A lot of times it's the quarterback. So it's something just to continue to monitor as we advance throughout the season. But you're hoping that this kind of gets fixed. But yet again, Ben Johnson has wanted them to be more under center, and this is something that's new, newish for someone like a Caleb Williams. So just getting reps, hopefully that then starts to get better, but something that I just wanted to at least call out from that side of things. So now we will talk about the left tackle competition, because I know a lot of us want to know what's going on with the left tackle competition, because like I said, today, the starter out there all practice who got every single first team snap was Ozzie Trapello. Now, Ozzie to me, and we've talked about this before, Ozzie to me is someone that he was picked by Ben Johnson. He was someone that he wanted to draft, that they end up picking, and they end up bringing in as the left tackle. He's someone that has been playing every single snap that's out there. He has really, knock on wood, he's not been banged up. And now you have someone like a Karan Amgaji that was banged up, that wasn't able to be out there. Braxton Jones coming off of a serious ankle injury. And that's where it's kind of felt that after they saw Ozzy and Ozzy looked good, it feels like it's Ozzy's job. But today they did talk about it, saying that Braxton Jones got the reps with the second team and the third team. And the big reason is they said, hey, Declan Doyle, I believe, was asked about this. And he said, hey, Karana Magaji wasn't there. So we just wanted to put Braxton out there. So now let's see next practice. Let's see if he's actually going to be out there with the ones. Is Braxton going to be back out there? And then if Braxton's there and Karan's not there, do we then see Ozzy Trapillo get the second team reps and the third team reps? I don't know. It just feels like Braxton's comeback from the injury makes them feel very uneasy. And when we were going through the offensive line, I did mention I feel a lot of it is going to come down to Braxton's health. And this isn't taking away anything from Ozzy. This just kind of adds into the fact that Braxton has been a solid tackle, right? I know that some people aren't going to like hearing that, but he's been an okay tackle in the NFL. He's the Charles Leno, right? Like if we can all agree that he's at the same competency level of Charles Leno, then I think we're all on the same page. Where Charles Leno, starter in the NFL for multiple years. You can always get better than him. You can always get worse than him. Braxton, I still feel like there's still something there that can be tapped into, but it's really hard to tap into that when you have someone coming off a broken ankle and they know that Ozzy's healthy. They know that he's been out there. They know he's been getting the reps. They want this offense to run as seamless as possible. It just really feels like it's going to be Ozzy's job unless Braxton can show, listen, I am healthy. I can go out there and do this job. And that's why I think that they just haven't given it to someone yet, is they truly want this to be a competition. Also, just completely side note that I just thought of right now is we also need to keep in mind that if Ozzy does become the starting tackle, then you want to make sure that there's a trade market for Braxton Jones. Because if your second round draft pick is the starter, then what are you going to do with Braxton? Because left tackles, like I said, he's kind of in that middling tier. So if he's in that middling tier, you could probably get something pretty big for him because he's better than a lot of other tackles out there. And I don't think that we know that because a lot of us, we don't look at the other team's rosters. There's a lot of teams that could use a Braxton Jones that potentially the Bears could trade Braxton for to say, hey, Chiefs, right? I'll just throw the Chiefs out there, right? Hey, you might need a tackle. Here you go. So something just to keep in mind as we go through the offense. But moving on from the big boys, let's go into the wide receivers where today we saw Rome Odunze get a touchdown, right? And there's some people that were tweeting out there too saying like, hey, Rome Odunze is still out there and Rome Odunze is still doing well. He's still a great receiver. He's still been playing like a phenomenal receiver, so it's a good problem to have. We have so many weapons. Like this is truly, I think, what we were hoping for last year, where Rome was still good, but what we're seeing the chemistry between Rome and Caleb even more so. Because yet again, Rome is a very, very good contested catch guy. He's still good at route running, but he's not like a Malik Neighbors where it's like, hey, I'll just feed you the ball and you can do whatever, and he just creates massive separation. Rome is more of the contested guy. So you need to have that trust, that faith that he can bring it down. But also not just him, Cole Kmet had a 17-yard touchdown pass that was thrown to him, back right corner, and it was just a phenomenal play. A lot of people absolutely loved it, saying that Caleb evades the blitz and then goes over, passes it, and just beautifully plays. Only spot that Caleb could place that ball. But then, this is where we go into. Next play, ball is picked off. So, yet again, picked off by Nahshon Wright. So Nahshon Wright kind of making a name for himself out here in camp. But that's what we're kind of seeing. Phenomenal play. Bad play then follows it. Then we get some false starts. Then, other plays like that, botch snaps. Just these little tiny things that just make a huge difference in a game. And then also too, Colston Loveland, it's just everyone saying like, yeah, this is just the feeling of camp. You have something good and we didn't expect it. Like Colston Loveland comes back and everyone's like, holy crap, look at Colston Loveland. Then he just continues to do Colston Loveland-y things. And he still is doing Colston Loveland-y things. He had a touchdown pass from Case Keenum. So wanted to throw this out there too. So technically he was with the twos, just like what Cole Kmet had. Yet again, nothing to be concerned about. We just have two really good tight ends. So some are going to get snaps with the ones, some are going to get snaps with the two. But yeah, Loveland jumping grab in the back of the end zone. And it was a good ball. So one was thrown by Keenum, and the other one was thrown by Caleb Williams for a touchdown. And Caleb's was in between a safety and corner for the touchdown. But Colston Loveland, phenomenal. And for those on YouTube, you can see Mark Carman's tweet saying Colston Loveland gets the ball a lot is one of the takeaways from camp today. But also, too, as we continue to go through, Luther Burden as well. I know a lot of people want to know about Luther Burden. Continues to look good, and he just looks the part. And that's what you want out of these rookies. A lot of times, this person doesn't belong in the NFL. Pretty quickly, early on, Luther looks like he's the part, and made a phenomenal, there was a backside throw to him. He had to go over and then kind of brought in, people were citing late hands to bring it in. So those late hands, this is something that's big, is that when the ball's in the air, you don't want them like constantly reaching out or like getting ready for the ball. Late hands is something that Devontae Adams made really popular, because on these backside throws, when it's back shoulder, all of a sudden, as quickly as you can, you just snatch the ball. So the reason why that's so important is because then your cornerbacks, the defensive backs, then can't be looking at your eyes, looking at your hands to say, okay, if I'm going like this and getting ready for the ball, I can just swipe the hands. I know that it's going to be right here. So also too, I can turn around. I can turn around and pick off that ball. I can swipe your hands. It helps the defender tremendously. So by having those late hands, just quickly goes up. Good stuff from Luther Burden. Other pieces as well. Caleb Williams, there was this was thrown out there that he went through 3 of his reads, then threw a check down to Swift. So love to see him just kind of going through his reads quickly like that. And Tyson Bagent and JP Richardson, the people that we started talking about at the very beginning of camp, still look good. So don't worry about that. They connected for a touchdown today as well. But as we continue to go through defense, like we mentioned, Nashawn Wright, interception versus Caleb in the end zone to end all of practice. The ball was to DJ Moore. And then also Kyler Gordon, a huge tackle on DeAndre Swift in the backfield, knifed in the backfield. There's like a missed block, goes in, makes the big play. And then Noah Sewell had a very good, what would have been a tackle for loss on Kyle Nungai in the backfield. So nice to see Noah Sewell's name pop up out there as well. So that's going to be the show for today. No other miscellaneous news that's out there. Like I said, a lot of standard little practices out here, but it's nice to see the team doing well. My next show that what I'm going to do is I'm just going to break down the week, just kind of do a little recap. I know some of you guys like that out there, just to kind of put the bow on the full week, just as a Sunday little recap of what happened with the Bears. But make sure to stay tuned. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're out there on YouTube. Also, download the podcast. Just search for Unbearable Sports or click the link in the description, and then you can click on whichever podcast listening app you like to then listen to the show. So with that, Unbearable Sports Podcast, we are out.
Yeah, she's got some nice long hair, and you know that she's a